Welcome to the third lesson, Understanding Facebook Ad Policies. Before I talk about the policies, I want you to know a couple of things. The first one is that Facebook uses an algorithm-generated risk score for each advertiser. So what is the risk score? The risk score tells Facebook how risky an account is. So it doesn't matter when you create that account. You might have just created the account, or it might be a very old account. If that risk score gets to a tipping point, then Facebook's algorithm could ban your account. And every action you take in Facebook, in the Facebook environment, affects the score, either positively or negatively. So you want to keep this score as low as possible. So the way the risk score happens, like I said, is based on action. There's no neutral action you take on Facebook. If you like a post, if you comment, if you shared something, if you added a friend, if you used the messenger, and all those activities, they all contribute to the score. What you do on your page, what you do in your business manager, every single thing. Maybe you're creating lookalike audiences, or you're creating custom audiences. Whatever you're doing affects this risk score, either positively or negatively. So you want to understand how it works. Let me give you a simple example. So for instance, you created a new Facebook account today, and you just, from the new Facebook account, you jump straight to the business manager settings, setup, and you're creating a business manager, and you're trying to run ads with a very huge budget. You're trying to run ads with a huge daily budget, or a huge monthly, whatever, lifetime budget, whatever. Right now, that is not the typical behavior of a new Facebook user. They don't just create an account and jump straight to business manager and try to use ads. Of course, new users, play around. Okay, Facebook, add friends, chat, do some stuff like pages, and then even if they visited the business manager, the pattern is a bit different. So the algorithm is able to say, okay, based on the way this person is acting, I think his risk score is actually high, and then that account gets disabled or gets banned. Okay, so that's about the risk score. So even if you made an appeal to Facebook, and a human is reviewing your account, most of the time, all they look at is that risk score. Depending on the risk score, they could either, okay, it was a mistake and you have your account back, or they could say, sorry, this decision is permanent, blah, 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 blah. And those automated responses that you get each time you may have tried to appeal in the past, right? So that is because they're looking at a risk score to determine if your account should be reinstated. And also the algorithm uses this risk score to determine if your account should be disabled. Now, the next thing I want you to get in your head, I want it to get stuck in your head, is that you want to avoid the mistake of saying "not me" when looking at policies. So sometimes you read through a policy and you're like, oh, not me, I didn't violate this, right? Not me, right? And you don't really know. Most times it's you are in that policy. If you fail to see yourself in policies, you're going to have real trouble running ads that are compliant, right? Because even the slightest semblance to a policy violation can trigger a permanent ban on your account. So Facebook the algorithm says, oh, this looks like this. This looks like multi-level marketing. This looks like a get-rich-quick scheme, and then you get your account disabled, right? So you want to ensure that even to humans and to the algorithm, your ads don't look as though they are not compliant. It could be compliant, but if it looks like it's not compliant, then it's likely not compliant, and Facebook will ban you as a precautionary measure. And then when you appeal, then they could review that ban and say, okay, oh, it was a mistake. And then they apologize to you. And if you do it as a business, you know that would have cost you a lot of money, either the money you should have generated for yourself or maybe for your clients. And that's not a good position to be in. So you want to avoid, looking like you violated the policy by all costs. Avoid looking, I didn't say violating. Avoid violating, yes, but avoid looking like you violated a policy. And if you follow the trainings I'm going to be giving you for the lessons after this one, you're going to learn how to really create ads that are compliant. And I do not expect you to have any issues running ads if you follow it. Okay, so that is that. With that in mind, with the fact that you want to avoid the mistake of saying not me, I want us to visit facebook.com/policies/ads and take a look at how the policies that Facebook have created for you. You could do it at your own time, and of course, you know that probably by the time you're watching this video, maybe there might have been some changes to the policy, and you want to make sure you go through it yourself as well. So that's why I included the link here: www.facebook.com/policies/ads. Okay, so I've already opened it down on my browser, so I would just head over there. Okay, so I want us to start from the overview. All right. So right here, you can see that we have the overview, and then we have common points of confusion. Okay, so you have the overview, and then we have common points of confusion. Now, Facebook says our advertising policies provide guidance on what type of ad content are allowed. When advertisers place an order, each ad is reviewed against these policies. If you think that your ad was mistakenly disapproved, you can request a review of the decision in ad quality. So that's the link. If you think this was disapproved, you can appeal that, oh, this ad should have been approved. Okay, and then we have the common points of confusion. Okay, so we have personal attributes, we have sexually suggestive content, and we have Facebook brands. There are a lot more. I will go through most of them, but I want to just read what it says here. To help you create a compliant and user-friendly advert experience, we've highlighted some common areas of confusion. Click the links below to learn more about each policy. So these are the frequently violated policies, and Facebook just highlights them and shows them. So I'm going to start from Facebook brands. Okay, now Facebook brands, you have Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. Facebook doesn't want you using their logo. Facebook doesn't want you using their name in a way they don't like. If you must use their logo, use their brand identities, like the F icon here, or they have approved images that you must use. They don't want you to do any sort of animation with it and all of that. I'll just click it and show you, see what it is. So ads linking to Facebook or Instagram branded content, including pages, groups, events, or sites that use Facebook login, may make limited reference to Facebook or Instagram in ad text for the purpose of clarifying the destination of the ad. Ads should not represent the Facebook brand in the way that makes it the most distinctive or prominent feature of the creative. So it shouldn't be so obvious. It shouldn't look as though you are Facebook. Facebook doesn't want you to present your ad as though you're Facebook. So I could have advertised this course on Facebook with a very big Facebook logo and Facebook framework of an ad and all that. Facebook doesn't want that. Facebook doesn't like that. Okay, so Facebook brand assets should not be modified in any way, such as changing the design or color, or for the purpose of special effects or animation, right? So you don't want that. So for example, display the word Facebook in the same font size as the text surrounding it. Okay, so if you write Facebook in your ads, it should be equal. Do always capitalize the word Facebook, except when it's part of a web address. So if you're writing Facebook in your ad copy, make sure the F is capitalized. If it is small, capitalized, for instance, small F Facebook, then your ad's going to get rejected, right? Do not pluralize the Facebook trademark or abbreviate it as FB, right? Or use it as a verb. Do not use F or Facebook logos instead of the word Facebook in the ad copy. Do not use the Facebook corporate logo in an ad, right? The logo is reserved for corporate use only. So those are some of the things you want to avoid when creating your ad. I will touch on sexually suggestive content and personal attributes later on. So in the meantime, I want to show you two major points of use, right? So we have two major points of violations. We have prohibited content and we have restricted content. So restricted content means we don't want this kind of we could allow this kind of ads, but with some permission. Okay. Now, prohibited content is we don't want this at all. We don't want this on our platform. It is prohibited. Restricted is restricted to only those who have the necessary permission or meet the necessary requirements to promote those kind of ads. So let me take you to the prohibited content. Okay, we talked about community standards in the previous lesson. Adverts on Instagram must not violate Instagram guidelines. Adverts must not on Facebook must not violate the community standards. Okay, now we have illegal products or services. Adverts must not constitute, facilitate, or promote illegal products, services, or activities. Adverts targeted at minors must not promote products, services, or contents that are age inappropriate. Of course, age is not here, but that's what it means. Illegal or unsafe, or that exploit, mislead, or exert undue pressure on the age groups targeted. This one is just simple. Don't advertise illegal products or services. Now, we also have discriminatory practices. This one catches a lot of people, and I'm going to explain. So ads must not discriminate or encourage discrimination against people based on personal attributes such as race, ethnicity, color, national origin, religion, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, family status, disability, medical or genetic condition. So you don't want to say, excuse me. So you don't want to say, do you want to, are you looking for other black people? That already discriminates white people. So, or are you looking for other white people, right? You don't want to have such kind of copy in your ad text or in your videos or your creative or whatever. So I'm just going to click it a bit so you can see more about that. This is actually to prevent a lot of discrimination that happens, and that's why some targeting options are no longer available if you are running ads for some kind of services like real estate. So you just imagine that maybe an ad was created and it said, white people's apartments or white people's residential houses get a house. It's going to look pretty awkward and it's going to make a lot of people get enraged. So Facebook doesn't want that. Same for family status. You can't just target people and, talk specifically about people in a particular status, financial status, or even gender identity. You can say a lot of things, and I'm not going to go much into all of that now. Okay, so we have tobacco and related products. You can't sell this, cigarettes and all that. Okay, but sometimes your ad could get rejected and it's tobacco, because it has happened to me before and it was totally a mistake. So you can just appeal that. Sometimes you see the rejection and it's totally unrelated to your ad, then feel free to, but make sure you consider it first before just jumping in. That's the first time I got this tobacco and related products rejection. I had to go through my ad again. Did I mention tobacco or cigarette or something? Or does my creative look like cigarette? So I considered it and I was like, it's totally unrelated, and I appealed happily because I knew that was a big blunder from the algorithm. Okay, so you can't advertise drugs or drug-related products. You can't advertise unsafe supplements, right? And it says as determined by Facebook. So I can say now you can determine you can advertise weapons, ammunition, or explosives. You can't advertise adult products or services. So ads must not promote the sale or the use of products or services. Ads promoting sexual and reproductive health products or services such as contraception and family planning must be targeted at people age 18 or older and must not focus on sexual pleasure. I'm going to dig a bit deeper here. Okay, so assuming you're promoting a simple product, let me think of one, maybe a vagina wash, right? Now, you might say a vagina wash is not a sexual product and doesn't focus on, sexual pleasure, but it is. It's an adult product, and that ad is going to get rejected. Okay, so adult products or services, this is the policy. We've read that already. So it says for one reason or the other, I need to refresh this. So okay, so these are not allowed. Buy our sex toys for your adult pleasure. Use a gel to dramatically improve your sex life. Condoms, sex tips, and more. Pleasure guaranteed. You cannot do that. Okay, but if the person is above 18 years, you can say free condoms now available at our local health centers. Practice safe sex with our brand of condoms. New moisturizing lube to relieve vagina dryness on a day-to-day basis. So some people just assume the word vagina, penis are kind of banned, but they're not. It depends on exactly how you use them and who you're targeting. We'll talk a bit more about these things in another lesson. I'm going to show you how to play around these kind of things. Okay, so that was prohibited content. Okay, so just go back one step. Okay, so the next is adult content. So ads must not contain adult content. Includes nudity, depictions of people in explicit suggestive positions, or activities that are overly suggestive or sexually provocative. So you don't want to use ad creatives or videos that show nudity or people who are taking a sexual pose, or trying to maybe generate attention or get attention or stuff like that. It's not allowed. Then we have third-party infringement. So Facebook takes the rights of people very, very seriously. So you want to make sure you're not using any copyrighted material in your ads, or ads that you're not violating people's copyright, trademark, privacy, publicity, or whatever that doesn't belong to you. Don't even use a book in your creative, like Think and Grow Rich. You just take the image and just put it in your ads. That's totally wrong. Some words are copyrighted. So you don't want to use those words right in your ads. It could land you in serious trouble. Okay, sensational content. So avoid shocking, violent scenes, accident scenes, things that could pass for sensational content. You want to avoid that. Then personal attributes. It's very similar to what we talked about earlier, right? Ads must not contain content that asserts or implies personal attributes. You must not be direct. You must not mention someone's age, right? Okay, Facebook says this includes direct or indirect assertions or implications about a person's race, ethnic origin, religion, beliefs, age, and what have you. All right, so I'm going to click learn more so we can take a look at what that is about. Okay, so ads must not contain content that asserts or implies personal attributes. This includes direct whatever. Okay, we've talked about that already. So it says, for example, advert creatives that describe or shows the promoted product or service. That's beautiful. But if it's a text referencing or alluding to personal attribute or characteristics of the targeted group or individual, that's going to be get you banned. So you can say, do you have cancer, right? So let's look at the examples Facebook gives. Race, you can say meet Hispanic men online now, but you cannot say meet other black singles near you, because when you say meet other black singles, it means you're implying that the person looking at that ad is a black. Now, if the person is indeed a black, that person is going to freak out and say, oh, Facebook has been giving out my information to people. So how do they know I'm black, right? So under religion, you can say date Christian singles, but you can say, are you a Christian, or meet other Buddhists. That means this person is, a Buddhist. And this one is a direct case. You're just calling out to a person and saying, are you a Christian? That could come off as offensive to people, especially when they're not Christians. And even some Christians who feel, how this person know, right? So Facebook is sharing my private information with people. So You want to make sure that you're following all these policies. Okay, so let's go back. We were at personal attributes. You want to avoid misinformation. So if you are providing wrong information in your ad copy, in your videos, or whatever, your landing page content, then that's going to get rejected. Then we have controversial content. All right. So ads must not contain content that exploits crisis or controversial political or social issues for commercial purposes. So you can use the coronavirus and say, oh, you know what, learn how to protect yourself against coronavirus, follow our 3-step technique, blah, blah, blah. You can do all of that because that is a crisis. That's a controversial social issue. So you want to avoid that. So non-functional landing page. Your page must be online. You can't be having server downtimes. If you're having too many server downtimes, you're going to see this as a reason why your ads are rejected. Non-functional landing page. Then cheating and deceitful practices. So ads must not promote services that are designed to enable a user engage in cheating or deceitful practice. You can say, oh, all right, take this course. I'm going to show you how to hack, or buy this device, buy this software. It will help you hack anybody's email. That ad is going to get rejected. Then we have grammar and profanity. You can use wrong grammar, bad grammar. You can use symbols or letters, especially when you're trying to circumvent the ad review process. Now, this doesn't affect people who are using industry terminology or local language, terminology. It affects people who are trying to, circumvent the ad review process. Then we have non-existent functionality. You want to stay away from adding buttons or check boxes or notification play buttons, things that look as though someone can interact with the image, whereas you can interact with the image or video. That's not going to pass. All right. Then we have personal health. Ads must not contain before and after images or images that contain unexpected or unlikely results. So ads must not contain or imply or attempt to generate negative self-perception in order to promote diet, weight loss, or other health-related products. So you can make someone feel bad, like, oh, look how fat you are. You can make people feel terrible. Facebook is a place where people come to be social, to be happy, not to buy products. So your ads must not make people, get a negative self-image about themselves. And somehow, even before and after images kind of do that. And you cannot promise people unexpected results, unlikely results. You put this fat person beside someone with a very, sexy beach body, and you make people feel like they could get that same body if they follow your routine in 3 weeks. And that's totally unacceptable. So you want to stay away from that. Bad behavior generally doesn't pass in an ad. Payday loans, pay slip advances, and bail bonds are not allowed. Now, multi-level marketing. So adverts promoting income opportunities must fully describe the associated product or business model and must not promote business models offering quick compensation for little investment, including multi-level marketing opportunities. So let me explain what that is. So if you're saying someone can make any money at all, it has to be very clear how the person is going to make that money. It must describe the product or the business model. So if you say something like make money online, that doesn't describe anything. It's too generic. So you want to say make money doing X or make money using X, right? It must be very clear that anyone can understand. And you must not promote stuff that offer quick compensation for very little investment of time, little investment of money. Even if it's real, you want to stay away from doing that. There are better ways to promote those kind of things, right? Then we have penny auctions, and then we have misleading claims. So for instance, ads must not contain deceptive, false, or misleading claims, such as those relating to effectiveness or characteristics of a product or service, including misleading health, employment, or weight loss claims that set unrealistic expectations for users. I think that's clear enough. Low quality or disruptive content. So what Facebook considers as low quality are things that, for instance, pop-ups on your landing page, or kind of creating, just being silly, basically being spammy, clickbait, those kind of things. Using sensationalized headlines, in your ads or in your landing page, clickbait kind of stuff. Facebook doesn't like it. For instance, you can't just say you'll be surprised what Bill Gates was found doing. That's a sensationalized headline. That's a clickbait. That's low quality, right? It won't help you get the best results, and also it's not allowed. Spyware or malware. Adverts must not contain spyware, malware, or software that results in an unexpected or deceptive experience. This includes links to sites containing those kind of stuff. So you cannot talk about spyware or have those kind of things on your website that cause deceptive experiences for your users, where maybe they land on one page, you redirect them to another and stuff like that. It's not allowed. So we have automatic animation. Ads must not contain audio or flash animation that plays automatically without a person interacting with it or expands within Facebook after someone clicks on the advert. So that's not allowed. Unacceptable business practices. Ads must not promote products, services, or schemes that offers using deceptive or misleading practices, including those meant to scam people out of money. We'll talk about that later. We'll talk about circumventing systems later. Okay, prohibited financial products and services. Ads must not promote financial products or services that are frequently associated with misleading or promotional practices. So you can click learn more to see more of that. All right, sale of body parts, of course, you can promote that, or body fluids. Vaccine discouragement. You can't tell people not to take vaccines. That will be totally wrong according to Facebook's policy, even if you think it's right. Okay, so I'm not here to judge you. I'm just here to explain what's right with Facebook, what's wrong with Facebook. So these policies change from time to time. You want to make sure you keep an eye on them. And don't say you're promoting a product or you're copying someone else's ad because you saw it got approved. If it's violating the policy, sooner or later, that ad is going to get rejected and his account is likely going to get banned if he continues to try to push out that kind of ad. Then we have restricted content. So you have alcohol, dating, gambling, and the likes, etc. You can promote these ones, but you have to get the necessary permission. So you have Forex, cryptocurrency, and the list goes on. Okay, so Facebook also has a policy for video. Like we said, you don't want to use disruptive tactics. You can't just have a bright white light shining the first 3 seconds of a video to try to get attention. That will be totally wrong. And if it's for TV premieres, trailers, and all of that, you must follow this policy here, right? You don't want to see the use of drug or alcohol, adult content, profanity, violence, and all of that in your film trailer or TV program, right? And since it's for matured audiences, you must get written permission from Facebook, and you must target people 18 years or older. Okay, so for targeting, you must not use targeting to discriminate against, harass, provoke, or disparage users, or engage in predatory advertising practices. Simple enough. If you target your advert to custom audiences, you must comply with the applicable terms. So you may want to click that and read that, but you're likely not going to get any issue from that. So that's my job, to tell you what's going to be an issue and what's not going to be an issue. So I have some more that I have dropped in my slides. So let's just head down there. Okay, so these are some common ones. I just want to read them out to you. Ads may not promote unacceptable business practices, and it includes promoting products, services, or schemes or offers that use deceptive or misleading practices to scam people out of money or personal information. So if Facebook thinks you're doing that, you're going to get banned. Facebook has a survey. When people click on your ad, take action, they come and ask them, how was the experience later on? And if they come and say, wow, that was just scam, I lost $10,000 or I lost $30, Facebook is going to hit you with a hammer. So you want to also avoid sensational language that can feel misleading, such as ads that overpromise results or do not disclose risk. So for instance, you can just say, I'll take this 7-day Forex trading course. You're going to make $1,000 every single day. And there's little or no risk. Yeah, come on, that's wrong. That's a lie. You need to tell people you could lose all your money. You could lose more than you invest in Forex. All right. Okay, we have a way we do it, but you could lose. You have to know you could lose. Okay, then ads must not contain profanity or bad grammar and punctuation. You can't say use all block letters and say get these forex course now and everything's in block letters with a lot of exclamation marks. That's going to be horrible. You're shouting at your audience and that's not going to get approved. You want to avoid the use of misleading claims. So ads and landing pages and business practices must not contain deceptive, false, or misleading content, including deceptive claims, offers, or methods. Some stuffs are just deceptive. You cannot do that. And the next point actually buttresses the fact more. So you cannot promise or claim to cure chronic, incurable, serious medical conditions. Even if it were true, you cannot promise that, because say you have a cure for cancer. The World Health Organization says there's no cure, so it's an incurable condition. You cannot make such promises. Also, you cannot make claims of unrealistic results within specific time frames. You can't say you're going to make $1,000 within one week and all that, because it may not hold true for all users. So you want to avoid that. Okay, also you want to avoid unclear or non-functional landing page experiences. So you want to make sure that your ads include a functional landing page with relevant messaging that matches the ad content. Very important. So your site, your landing page cannot show under construction for 04, you've hit the wrong link, blah, blah, blah. It has to show a page, and that page needs to have content that matches with your ads. At the same time, your landing page should describe the product or service and its features and set realistic expectations around its functionality. So you cannot just have a blank landing page. It must have all the following information about your product, its features, how it works, and all of that. Then lastly, you want to avoid the use of adult content in your ad. So ads must not contain nudity, depictions of people in explicit or suggestive positions, or activities that are overtly suggestive or provocative. So those are some of the common areas you want to watch out for. Okay, so I want to thank you for sticking till the end of this lesson. And in the next lesson, I'm going to show you how to create ads that are compliant, irrespective of your industry, your niche, or however you like to group yourself. So I'll see you in the next video right now.